This is On Hand, a podcast answering your questions about all the things that make Michigan unique. I'm Laura Weber Davis. In the last episode, we talked about where up north begins. For some, it's just about vibes.
Up north is a state of mind, right? It's when you're in your happy place. You're looking at water or you're looking at the woods, right? You're able to enjoy nature. So it can be even as far south as South Haven. It just depends on you.
For others, there are changes in the natural world that really tell us where those up north vibes begin.
There's plants from the boreal region that are reaching their southern extent, and there's plants from the southern prairie savanna region that are reaching their northern extent.
And today, we're going to hear your stories about where up north begins. For Ken, it's hard to call anything up north if it's south of the Mackinac Bridge.
My name's Ken Raisanen. I live in Ontonagon, Michigan. I'm a retired geography earth science teacher. I grew up in Marquette. I actually was born in Lawrence. My dad was a state trooper there. As one, we moved to Manistee. Two, we moved to Marquette. So I did all my growing up in Marquette, right across the street from Northern Michigan University.
So we can safely call you a UP boy.
Yes, ma'am. It's kind of an in-joke that when you see something posted about, Northern Michigan, and they start talking about Traverse City, we kind of chuckle because we know that's Northern Lower Peninsula, and we are, technically true farther north than that. So.
Yep. When do you feel like you have crossed into an area that is not up north?
Well, you cross the Mackinac Bridge, you're obviously not in the UP anymore, and I don't know. To me, it always felt like once you got south of Gaylord, you were starting to get into no man's land.
So you're saying down here in Ann Arbor, I'm living in no man's land?
Well, yeah.
Do you know the reason that the topography changes like that?
It's so much glacially driven. If you start at Lake Superior and get in the highlands just south of Lake Superior, the land slopes at a very, it's like a foot of drop for every 7 miles, something like that. It's almost like a sloping plain to get down to Lake Michigan. So you don't really notice too much. But I think once you start getting down towards Pellston, where you're crossing into some of the more visible moraines, that really does look like an awful lot the rest of the UP.
So when we talk about from a southern Michigan perspective, going up north, the recurring theme is that your body relaxes and your mind opens up when you go up north. And that's what's so attractive about it. It's this idea that you can breathe a little easier when you're in the forested areas, and that up north is also a state of mind and not just a geographic location. If you already live in that space, are you constantly relaxed, or do you have to go somewhere else to find relaxation?
The only thing that's not relaxing is, where I live, to get to anything like McDonald's or Walmart or anything like that, it's an hour in any direction. We're a little bit remote here. Not used to the traffic, not used to the roundabouts. I would say we're pretty relaxed around here. My folks grew up in Wakefield, which is about an hour from here. And a friend of mine and I, we flew down to Ann Arbor to see Michigan play Minnesota. And the marching band marched out and they formed up the lower Michigan outline. And we were horrified. And the gentleman sitting behind us, who apparently was from Menominee because that's all everybody called him, they didn't even know his name, he stood up and he yelled, "Where's the UP? You can't call that Michigan." And I saw my dad that, and he said, "Oh, that's ironic, because the band director of Michigan grew up in Wakefield." But that's what even the Michigan Geography Council, which I was a member of their organization a few years, they had their first conference in Marquette I went to, and they had a sign for their logo, and sure enough, it was plastered on the mitten.
It's true. The UP doesn't get the recognition it deserves. It's such a special and splendid part of our state. So for Ken, it's the UP or bust. And I get it. Its stunning beauty truly embodies what up north has to offer. But even so, Ken did have this to say about the southern part of the state.
I will say I had a friend that went to U of M, and I visited him several times. And at one time, the band I was in got a job booked in Coldwater, Michigan, if you can imagine the travel. So we traveled from Ann Arbor, where we spent the night, to Coldwater, went through the Irish Hills, and I thought that was one of the loveliest parts of the state of Michigan I've ever seen.
And we have a listener who agrees. In fact, Keith from Coldwater says Branch County, along the border with Indiana, in some ways is also up north.
I'm Keith Baker. I'm the city manager for the city of Coldwater. Well, for me personally, having grown up in Battle Creek, I would say that, and having listened to your podcast, I would say that I agree that it probably meant Clare, or that Michigan Department of Transportation rest stop on I-75. But having been in Coldwater for 21 years, we like to think of ourselves as up north to our friends in Indiana, Illinois, and Ohio. In Branch County, we have over 100 inland lakes that are populated with any number of second homes and vacation homes and Airbnb or VRBOs. And so we get a significant visible influx of visitors and from those areas to our community. And Branch County in particular has many of the same natural amenities that further north has, with our lakes and forests and outdoor recreation. So I think for those people coming from Indianapolis or Fort Wayne or Ohio and places in Illinois, that we're the first stop north, and so I think you can get those same kind of experiences and feelings once you cross the Michigan border.
I think you're hitting on something here, though. Up north is relative to where you are.
Definitely, yeah, and I'll take exception to the governor to suggest that it can't be up north further south than South Haven.
Thanks to Keith and Ken for giving their up north perspectives from one end of the Great Lakes state to the other. You can submit your stories and your questions to the On Hand podcast at the On Hand landing page on michiganpublic.org/onhand. Thanks so much for listening. Bye-bye.